Hello, my name is Julia and I'm a concept artist and character designer. Today I wanted to share with you my travel sketchbook that I brought with me to Europe, and I will be talking a little bit about my approach and some of the experiences I had solo traveling. So if you just want to see the artwork, you're free to watch this at like twice the speed, but otherwise let's get into it. Okay, one thing before I get started is I just wanted to note that I am a big believer in messy sketchbooks. Most of my sketchbooks look like a 4-year-old drew in them and then I got ran over by a car. So this is probably like as neat and as pretty as my sketchbooks get, mostly because I think I just had more time on my hands. So let's get started. All right, so this is my little trip map. If you're from Europe, please don't look at it too closely. I drew it in pen really quickly, so it's a little messed up. But basically, I went to visit family in Bulgaria for a week, and then from there, I flew to France and kind of made my way up Western Europe, including Italy, Switzerland, and ending in the Netherlands, Amsterdam. So this first page is from O'Hare Airport, and I absolutely love drawing at airports. I feel like when you go to cafes or you're drawing in public, people are always moving, like eating or talking. But at airports, everyone is so still for like extended periods of time. And you get such diverse and interesting people there too. So I always have a lot of fun drawing over there. Next few pages are from my first few days in Bulgaria, and at this point I was really jet lagged, but I was really fascinated by like the clay tiles. I think they add so much character to houses. I also didn't realize how like well insulating they actually are. I happened to go exactly when there was like a heat wave, and I was so surprised to see the inside of houses with no AC were really cold. And I don't know, that just kind of blew my mind because, you know, America is so AC dependent. But this was just a couple things in my grandma's backyard. And those first few days I had a lot of downtime, so I was kind of doing some observational drawings. It was my first time doing a perspective drawing in pen in a very long time, and it was a little rough, not gonna lie. But you gotta practice sometimes. And so yeah, these were just a couple things in the backyard that I found really interesting. I like playing around with shadow, although I don't know like how effective it is with marker because I didn't have a lighter color. But yeah, some more plants in my grandma's backyard. Not like my favorite page, but you know what? Not every page can be a winner. Now this was a really adorable cat at my grandma's house, and it was so friendly. And it was really funny because my grandma was like, I hate this cat. This cat is so annoying. But then she would make an effort to make food for it every day. So I just thought that was kind of cute. All right, on these pages, I did some pencil drawings, and I really do enjoy working with pencil, but it does smudge and like fade a crazy amount, especially while traveling. So I didn't do too many of those. But here I did some perspective drawings from Old Plovdiv, which were cool. And these were bus tickets, which are 1 lev. And I'm pretty sure that's around like 50 US cents. And it kind of just blew my mind how cheap transportation or like a cup of coffee was. But that's besides the point. Here I did this tree. I love like drawing trees and getting the contours of them. This was the Belintash wishing tree. And it was so cool because it was like completely hollowed out inside, but it was still alive. So I was like, what is keeping it alive? So I thought that was pretty cool. Over here, I have some just life drawings. It was a very hot day still, so people are eating ice cream. And I kind of liked how I used a lighter color and then overlapped. I think it just kind of makes it a little bit more visually interesting. Did a couple more on this page, but I switched to pen. It's interesting how like different mediums will give you like different looks. Over here, these were actually done from photographs while I had a lot of downtime. And I love speckled or like dappled lighting. I think it's so gorgeous, and it makes it feels like very nostalgic, so I just did that. It's a little bit too dark, but that's okay. All right, so around this time I got food poisoning or like a stomach bug, and I really did not want to draw that much. So this was when I was flying into France for the first time. And when I finally was feeling a bit better, I went to the beach. So these are some beach drawing people. Something I really liked about France was how just like everything had so much character to it. Like each an individual window. Like I don't know why, but I was super fascinated by all the windows because they all have so much like going on. And I don't know, I thought it was really cool. And my kind of like sad attempt to draw some people during the day. Here I'm finally feeling better, and it was a really rainy day, so I went to like this cute cafe. I don't know, cafes are my happy place, and I did this render here, and this is probably the most rendered piece I have, just to remind myself that yes, I can do that, and it's super relaxing to do, so really enjoy doing that. So here, I'm gonna turn it real quick, is still in Nice. He's kind of thick though. And over here, I actually also used the sketchbook for like when I had to write down things when it got really chaotic. But I did go to Genoa, and that was from the aquarium over there. This is back at France. I skipped a couple pages here and there. At this point, I think I was getting a little frustrated with my life drawings because I felt I was capturing the people well, but not their personalities. And that's such an important aspect of like story. But what's really challenging is you have to make like a split-second decision of how you want to portray someone in order to effectively do it. And I have to admit, my mind does not move that fast. You got like 10-30 seconds maybe max to capture the essence of someone. And that's why I really admire like story artists. Do think they do that so well. And it's something I still want to keep improving on. But that was just something I was keeping in mind as I was doing some of these like cafe sketches. Yeah, I love the cafe culture in France. I think it was probably my favorite, like just like to sit down and draw. Some more beach ones. This is back at Genoa. I was waiting for quite a while, and I think I was kind of starting to capture personality a little bit better. Like, if you look at these, you kind of have this dad that's like really done and his child, this kind of like worried grandma. So I was trying my best. All right, so on this page, you have a lot of overlap going on, but it was around this time that I started getting a lot of inspiration for my personal projects, and it comes in like the weirdest places, or like the most unexpected places at least. And I remember walking around kind of, I think it was an older part of Genoa, and it's like a labyrinth. I'm not even kidding. Google Maps is no help there. And it was just so, like the alleys were so small and so interconnected that I was like, this would be a really cool concept, but make it sci-fi on a spaceship. So I don't know, I got a lot of inspiration, obviously. Here is some landscape sketches, which were honestly really calming to do, along with a couple more people. A couple more kind of simple sketches, depended on my mood, really. So this is at Lake Como, and usually like at the hostels, like I would find maybe like a friend or a person to spend the day with. But over here, I didn't end up really clicking with a lot of people, so it was a lot of downtime and alone time. And there's just something about staring at a body of water that makes you really reflective. And so over here, I was thinking quite a lot about what is the person that I want to be and what kind of art do I want to do? Because I do feel like in recent years, I've kind of lost the why of creating art. And I think this gave me a really good kind of time to think about and reflect on what I do want to do, you know, moving forward. As a side note, I didn't draw it very well, but I think crow's feet are so lovely in people, and I it's viewed as like an imperfection in our society, but it's so lovely in the sense that you've smiled so much that it's etched into your face and into your history. Also, it was really ironic that Northern Italy started playing on my playlist as I was drawing these, so I had to do that. Here, I made a really unfortunate hiking decision, and it took me quite a while to get to this like vista point, but they had this super cool tree. I did not do it justice here. I think I was just really tired at that point. There's so much texture going on, and I tried to push the contrast on it a little bit. I think I'll try to redraw it better one day. And this old man at the cafe too. Obviously, we're in Italy, we gotta draw the Vespa. And also a lot of people smoking. Definitely a lot of people smoking. I don't know why, but I really like the gesture here. I think it has like really good flow. And what I do like about when I sketch with pencil is you can kind of play, like smudge it and play around with the value a little bit. Here, I actually got my train delayed by quite a lot, so I was just doing some drawings, waiting to get transferred. And, yeah, nothing too special over here. Alright, so this is once I got to Switzerland, and I cannot explain to you how in awe I was of nature in Switzerland. I'm not kidding, like the first day I was there, I got teary-eyed looking at like the mountains. Can you tell I'm from a place with no elevation whatsoever? But drawing mountains is really difficult. It took me quite a bit of time to understand like how to capture them, because there's a lot of information. You've got trees, you've got ridges, you've got light. And while I think I could do it pretty easy in Photoshop or like on Clip Studio, it was really challenging just with pen and pencil. Pencil was a little easier, right? But yeah. Couple more people wading through like the boats. I really like this one. It's very, I don't know, it's giving me like Spirited Away vibes, like on a train. And here I was on like a ferry, so I was drawing people from like above, which is always like a challenging angle. So they did need a little bit of work, I think, over here. There's this really cool dude with his bike, and I thought he had such interesting like main character energy. So I kind of did a pushed version of it because I thought this was maybe a little too realistic or like closer to my style. And over here, I feel like I finally kind of got the hang of doing mountains. I kind of like how this little snapshot here ended up. As we were pulling away, this was still on like another boat ferry. This guy just started playing like a trumpet solo, and it was definitely like one of those moments where you feel so connected to other people and just humanity as a whole, and you remember, oh yeah, there are really beautiful moments in life, and I feel like that was one of them. So over here, kind of like a chaotic spread. But I went to like a really cute cafe and I drew some of the scenery over there. It was at this point, this kind of like chunk of paragraph here, I talked a bit about how important it is to really enjoy the journey of going somewhere than just like the getting there. Because the other day I went on the longest, I think it was the most I've ever walked, or at least have record of walking. It was like 16 miles? No. Something like that, I don't know. But I was hiking, I did 2 or 3 hikes, and I was such in a rush to get to the next like vista or view or mountaintop that I feel like I didn't fully, by the end of the day, I was not fully appreciating things. And so this day where I just kind of slowed down and took a moment to observe things like very carefully, I felt a lot calmer and more connected. This is back at the airport. And then we're finally in Amsterdam with these, and I really like this one. Rimlight is so cool, and it was so beautiful in real life. And it was just these ladies waiting, and I really wanted to capture that. So So I went to see the Van Gogh Museum, and I cannot emphasize to you how inspiring it was, and it literally changes your brain chemistry looking at his artworks for like an hour or two or more. Every brushstroke, every intentional kind of color contrast was so incredible, and so I was like taking notes, and I think it really kind of has changed the way I want to approach my art, because I absolutely love like contrasting colors with like opposite undertones or like underpaintings. So that is something that I came out of like visiting that museum like, holy shit. Of course, we got to draw a bike. There were so many bikes in Amsterdam, and it was really nice because I felt like there was a lot of people like out in public. There was this giant public chess game, and everyone was like crowded around it and like thinking so intensely, and it's just a moment of community that I thought was really inspiring. And this guy was really still for quite a while, so I like how that one turned out. This was from the other museum I visited, doing like a study there, and I really wish I had more time, but I ended up leaving a bit late. And I would really like to go to more museums and do studies, because this was a really nice and fun change to doing studies. I will say this was like a sculpture. He's a little freaky, and I think I made it worse, but it was still pretty fun. I'm kind of glad that this one's sideways because I did mess it up. And that's like a common theme I saw with these drawings is you don't dwell too much if you mess something up. You just move to the next page, next person. And it was really freeing in that way, because I felt like in previous years I used to overthink when I'm sketching or I'm doing a sketchbook. So I just really appreciated how this brought the joy back into drawing for me, and kind of reminded me like why I do it in the first place. This was the iconic kind of windmills. I do really like this style where you have like a black ink but then a colored background. And this is another place I got a lot of inspiration for my personal projects, because the way they manage like water and their history around that is so cool. And as someone who's developing a alien ocean world, it's interesting how you can pull inspiration from science and from like things you know in real life and then apply it to your own stories. This was a really cute like grandma and like their son, I'm guessing, and I wish I captured them better, but I really liked the kind of story that was being told there. And here's another drawing that I really ended up liking, because you have like that rim light and then you have the thing that I just mentioned. On this page, I actually wrote down some of the things that I kind of internalized or I realized while I was solo traveling, and I really suggest or encourage people to take a solo trip if they're able to, because I don't know, it gives you again a lot of time to reflect, and it also proves that you're very much capable of, figuring things out. And so, I wrote that like both good and bad emotions passed very quickly. There was moments where I was so anxious, and then 2 to 3 hours later, I was completely fine. And when things go wrong, like I got trains canceled, I got the stomach flu, you simply just find another way, and that's all it is. Again, also it's important to slow down and take in what you can instead of like rushing to one place and another. And another really big thing was like forgiving myself and being kind to myself, because when you try something or you go somewhere for the first time, you're gonna fuck up, you're gonna mess up. It's only natural, but you can't let that jade the rest of your experience. So I think that was a really big kind of theme going out throughout the trip. Let's see, what else did I say here? Oh my god, asking questions. I realized how important it is to ask good questions and get comfortable with it. That's something I've never been super great at when it comes to like bothering people in the classroom as expected, but not in real life. But when you're like solo traveling, you gotta just get used to asking people questions, and you'll be amazed like how much that can do for you. And again, inspiration comes from everywhere, and sometimes you will meet people you don't get along with, and that's okay. Other times you will unexpectedly meet people you really click with, and that was really amazing, because I met a bunch of people that I otherwise would have never like talked to or seen just by doing this trip. So yeah, that's a couple of my realizations. That was a bit lengthy. I know you're here for art and not philosophical conversation, but anyway. Some buildings in Amsterdam. If you ever go to Amsterdam, it's so like each house is slightly leaning either forward or to the side, and it's just so fun to see all the different types of buildings. I drew some more like over here and over here. Yes, this is a very obnoxious sticker, but I kind of love it. I did go to an LGBT tour in Amsterdam, and it was really cool to learn about the local history from, someone who lives there. But yeah. Okay, we are coming near the end now, or at least the end of my sketches. This was a vase that I took a picture of at the museum I went to, and I had, again, downtime at the airport, so I was kind of experimenting with the elements and breaking it down into like costumes, because I was getting, it was a while since I've done that, getting a little rusty, but these were fun to do. And a couple more drawings. I really like this page. I think I just like their expressions quite a lot, but yeah. And I will share one more thing. This is not part of my Europe trip, but I went to visit friends in Atlanta, so I did a couple more drawings. These were a little bit more messier. Ignore the sticker, my friend gave it to me. But this day I was really tired and I was trying to do this perspective and draw this like woman sitting, and I just kept messing it up, and it was so frustrating. And I think it's really easy to spiral into a, oh my god, I can't even draw this, I'm not like a good enough artist. But you have to remind yourself that it's okay to have not perfect pages. On this page I was like, oh my god, Julia, like, you can draw perspective, you're just really tired. Yeah, that concludes our sketchbook tour. I only finished about half of it, so I'm gonna have to travel a bit more to finish, of course. And just wanted to say thank you, especially if you made it to the end, and I hope you have a nice day.